Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And she's the founder of Transformations with Jay. Coach Jay joins us here on the program. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Steve.
Wonderful to have you here. So timely that we talk about this. One of my favorite topics, gratitude. Why is it so important? And of course, we should be grateful for what we have. Get that. But going a layer deeper, why is it so important to practice gratitude if you really want to move your life forward?
I think it's important to cultivate gratitude in daily life. It helps us be more calm, more joyous. It helps us internally. It gives us an internal peace that otherwise is difficult to tap into, I think.
When you say practice gratitude, by the way, side note, I keep a gratitude journal. I write in it every day. I list at least 3 things that I'm grateful for. And it doesn't have to be, those super deep things. Every entry doesn't have to be, grateful for my kids, grateful for, my dog and things like that. You can be grateful for a cup of coffee. Makes you feel good. Elates you, gives you, wakes you up. And then being grateful for the growers, the people, the barista, grateful for the people that make the cups, all of that. That all has to come together for you to have that nice warm cup of coffee first thing in the morning. Keeping a gratitude journal, is that something that you would suggest?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I keep a gratitude journal. I also, when I do my morning routines, I verbalize out loud what I'm grateful for. I also, set my intentions, which is another, intentions, affirmations, gratitude, all these things that we practice or can verbalize out loud are different ways of setting our day up, of whether we realize it or not, we're talking positivity into our lives at that moment. And it kind of really sets the stage for how we feel, how we step into our day.
It's funny you should say that because I've heard it both ways. Somebody told me to practice that gratitude, write in that journal first thing in the morning. Somebody else told me this, and I haven't done it yet, but they suggested that you do it before you go to bed. Mm-hmm. You put your feet on the floor. You could be sitting on the bed, but your feet are on the floor. And that will ground you. You write in that journal what you're grateful for. And they swear in 14 days, you'll find yourself sleeping better. You'll find yourself waking up in a better mood. I haven't tried it yet, but it seems reasonable to me. What do you think?
I think anything that is literally or figuratively a step in the right direction, and if it helps one person, there's got to be more that a certain practice, more people that it would help. I feel that as long as we are striving to move towards inner peace, inner kindness to ourselves, and working towards being intentional about being nice and being kind and decent to those around us, it can only enhance our day and our experiences.
How bad can it be? Look at it that way.
Absolutely. Right.
How about some other thoughts on gratitude? What do you want us to know?
Well, I think it's important to know that we can stay grateful and have gratitude throughout the holidays, even when we have family members or coworkers or even situations that trigger us, that we can still maintain our peace and gratitude by focusing on the present moment and how we manage our emotional responses to those around us.
I love the word intentional, and you said it before, being intentional about what you do, because I'm learning that, you could, anything you do, if you set the intent, let's say you walk outside and you touch a tree. If your intent is to be grounded and feel better because you set the intention, pretty good chance that's probably going to happen.
Very true. Yes, our mind is very powerful. Our mind is very powerful in directing our bodies and spirits and the rest of our being. What we think is, we talked about this in mindset. What we think is causally related to how we feel, and those two together, create whatever our reaction's going to be, and that reaction gives us our results. And if we step into whatever we're doing with positivity, with pause, we set ourselves up for a positive experience.
Sure. And even setting the intention, I've found myself, when I return emails, at the beginning of the email, more times than not, I say thank you. And not just to say thank you. There's always, when you think about it, there's always a reason to say thank you. And those two words mean so much. It makes you feel good, makes the other person feel good. But when you think about it, in your daily communication, it's an exchange. So you're returning an email or a text. A lot of times there is something to say thank you for, right?
Absolutely. And, sometimes we have to step outside ourselves to realize that, because, you're in a situation, whether, if it's work related, whether it's an email or an actual one-on-one exchange, and even if someone brings something up to you that's constructive criticism, or just a gentle, hey, maybe, if you do it this way, or, instead of being reactive, thanking them for another perspective on your productivity, or, what you're trying to accomplish, or what direction you're headed in. It can be as simple as a direction you're headed in, and navigating from point A to point B, and you get lost, and someone says, go this way, and someone else says, go that way. Thank you. Thank you for enlightening me. Thank you for opening my eyes to another option. I think that's very important.
How about helping others? Now, we should be doing it, but volunteering for an organization, just pushing it forward, paying it forward. I've heard that can really move your life forward too.
It can. I, for many years, used to be a lead cook for a soup kitchen locally with a church, and I enjoy it. But I think when you volunteer, or when you do something along those lines, it should be something that calls to you as well. Not to do something out of obligation,
Yep.
I really feel that, and so I love to cook. Thanksgiving's like my favorite holiday, because I like cooking a huge feast. So cooking for me is a no-brainer when it comes to giving back and serving those less fortunate. So if, that's your calling, or that's something that you take great joy in, I think that's something worthwhile pursuing for volunteer work, and I think it's, like I said, it goes as far as you have to enjoy what you're doing for it to really make an impact, I think.
I agree. Because then it becomes a chore.
Yeah.
It's not the same. The more we're talking about this, Coach Jay, the more I'm seeing how, back to the word intentional, you have to be intentional about practicing your gratitude. And by that, I mean, I just had a flash of when people say grace. As a kid, I'd hear it. It's done at the table. Usually it's only at holidays where you do that. It's like that one time you go to church. Yeah, I go, you go right before Christmas and you're good. No.
Right.
But when you think about it, and remove any kind of religious connection for the moment, why wouldn't you want to be thankful for the plate of food in front of you? Even if you don't speak it out loud, but you even just say it, I'm grateful for this. Thank you very much. That's just one little aspect of gratitude. Now, if you add that to everything else that you do during your day, again, return an email with the word thank you, set that intention, everything in your life could be really connected to gratitude.
Absolutely. We've lost sight of that, you know. We've lost sight of that in the hustle and bustle of work and productivity and family and, you know, a means to an end, or getting from point A to point B to be able to purchase whatever, or to go here or go there. We're a society, or just we have a mindset, or people have a mindset that, you know, we're not present. We're always on the future. We're never where our head's never where our feet are. We're always aspiring or looking to obtain something in the future, or dealing with something from the past. We're never in the present moment anymore, where we can truly sit and stand and see where we're at and be grateful for that.
Absolutely. And maybe it does take going deep, like observing. How many times do you say thank you to somebody? Is it just out of habit? You know, just a quick, yeah, thank you. Or is it an afterthought? Are you really expressing thanks? And you mean it. You truly mean it. I don't think we do. I think we just throw those thank yous away.
I agree. Or they're obligatory, you know. So many things are just done out of either, you know, obligation or ritual. You know, being grateful, being mindful, you know, all these things about setting ourselves up for a peaceful, joyous, you know, day. It's a practice. You know, it's a journey. It's not a destination. There's no finish line. There's no medals or trophies at the end. And it's not a team effort. You know, it's all individual. And so that's, you know, that's where it gets lost, you know.
Yeah.
It's a true practice. You really have to practice it. And sometimes, you know, when you practice gratitude, sometimes, you know, not totally, but, you know, you almost fake it till you make it. And I don't mean that in the sense that, you know, you act like you're grateful, but, you know, you make a point of being grateful when you are grateful, and you just have to be really aware of that. And as you do that more and more, you become more and more aware of the little things, and then you become more and more grateful for the little things. You know, it's like anything else. It just takes time and practice. I
totally get what you're saying. And, you know, fake it till you make it. I know what you mean by that. It's almost as if I am just going to overload myself with gratitude. All right, maybe at that moment it's not heartfelt, but it becomes a habit because now you know how to do it because you are doing it. And even as we're talking right now, and I'm thinking about I got to do better. I should be better at this. I should be expressing it more. I should be more intentional. Even writing in my my gratitude journal. Mm-hmm. You know, you might write, I'm grateful for my coworkers. Well, that's good, but go into, you know, some detail. I'm grateful that my coworkers brought me soup when I was sick on Wednesday. It's just add another layer of depth, right? Because now it resonates within.
Right, and even pick out one of those coworkers.
Sure.
Name them. You know, get even more specific with that. You know, yeah, and that fake it till you make it too isn't so much that it's when your initial reaction to something, and you can feel it when you go to react, and it feels it's more selfish or self-serving. If you can just redirect yourself in that moment instead of responding in a more selfish kind of way, and responding with words of gratitude, even if internally you're struggling with that. You know, we all, when there's change happening, we all struggle. You know, it doesn't matter what the change is, towards positive, towards negative, whatever. we all struggle, and we have to kind of almost grit and bear it a little bit, until that new behavior, that new action, that new way of thinking or feeling starts to take hold, and we gain a little traction, and it starts to feel better within ourselves,
Sure. Oh, yeah. And even as we're talking about it, taking the moment, and we're always so busy, we don't take time. Take that moment to look around and see those things that you are or you should be grateful for. We never do it.
No, we don't. We don't. And we can start cultivating gratitude in our daily life by just being aware of those little things, like you said. And like you said, take the time, and we can thank people directly, verbally in an email. Focus on what you're grateful for. Try to practice empathy. Recognize that everybody, like someone said, about walking in my own shoes, until you walk in someone else's shoes, you never know what they're really going through. Having been in healthcare, I've always tried to be empathetic to people, because I can only know what they tell me, and so I have to go from that, and also know that there's a whole lot they're not telling me. So I have to kind of step back and say, okay, let me try to have some compassion and empathy for this person.
Yeah. It really is true. And we don't know, especially with social media, everybody's putting on a facade. You don't know what they're going through. You only know what they want you to see. I've even heard stories of people that could be your neighbor that is at risk of hunger, but they're too proud to ever say anything. And they just continue, living life, day by day, trying to make it. You don't know. You really don't know. And that almost brings me to a thought of looking at the bad in your life to realize the good. Just putting it all into perspective, even where you've come along the way. And again, using the past, remembering the bad to be grateful in your current state.
Absolutely. One of my favorite sayings that I made up myself is, when I see somebody, I say, smile. Things could be worse. But they could also be better, but they could also be far worse,
Yep.
So it's all a matter of really putting your current situation into perspective, And
I'm going to, what you just said there, I'm going to add one thing to it, if I may.
Absolutely.
And this is just a reframing of the words that we use, but it's my understanding your subconscious doesn't understand. So when you say something, it might think you mean something else. I'm the just like you just said, it could always be worse. So your subconscious could be hearing be worse and help you to make things be worse without you even knowing it. This is what I've learned. So I try to reframe it. Even I say this all the time. I can't wait to try that restaurant. Well, you're telling your subconscious, wait to try that restaurant. Potentially something could pop up that gets in the way. So now I change it around to, I'm looking forward to trying that restaurant. Right.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean.
It's little, but you know what? Why take a chance?
Absolutely. There's, of course, around the holidays, but there's a meme that's going around, instead of saying, I have to go to work, I have to do this, change that around to, I get to go to work. Right. I get to get up early and, it is, a lot of it is about changing the words around and reframing it. We have to be especially those very aware of how we speak to ourselves, especially those who've had it rougher than others, and that's a poor way, I guess, in a way to say that too, because everything's a matter of perception, how you grew up may seem horrible to someone else, and how someone else grew up may seem horrible to me, but not to them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all a matter of perception and just speaking kind words to yourself, because you can, like you said, that subconscious, that unconscious, you know.
Yeah. It's listening,
and
it wants to make you happy, and it's not very smart. So it's like a child. And actually, that's what it is. It's your inner child hearing you and trying to support you and make you feel better. And also along the same lines, Coach Jay, you from what you just said, that it's happening for me, not to me. If you look at it that way, you be grateful. All right, situation might not be the best. That just happened to you. But you know what? There's a reason. That's my belief. That there's a reason that gets you to the next point, to the next point, to the next point, to the life you really want to live. So yeah, that happened. It's happening for me. I might not know what it is, but yeah, I'll figure it out along the way.
That's right. You know, and we just have to keep being consistent. You know, make gratitude and mindfulness a daily part of your day.
Yep.
Acknowledge and celebrate your small wins, when you are, actually, make progress in a more positive direction for yourself and for others,
Thank you so much for today. One of my favorite topics, and you've just inspired me to go deeper into the gratitude. I'll admit, I think I was doing okay, but I'm really not. I really got to go be more intentional, as we said. What's the best way for somebody to reach out to you if they want to learn more about what we've talked about, or just have coaching in general to move their life in a positive direction? Sure.
Well, they can reach me via my business phone at 352-401-2133. I can be reached through the Calendly app to set up a free one-on-one consultation at calendly.com/Coach J with the number 2. And then also they can peruse my Facebook page called Transformations with Jay.
Wonderful talking with you. Learned a lot. You're so easy to talk to. I love it.
Thank you.
You really are. Thank you so much, and we'll catch up soon. If we don't talk, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, we just said the word thank you. Thanksgiving. All right. We'll talk soon. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. Kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education
and to finish what I started to get my diploma.
Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.